Alright, let's check the top 10 meta teams in JP. We'll check the teams one by one and talk about the characters, and hopefully we'll see what kind of players we can get in the future to build the ultimate team. So, player number 1, rank 1. As you can see, this is the team lineup over here. I also brought the players here in this website so that we can talk about their bonds, synergies, and everything. So this is the rank 1 team, and as you can see, there are 3 SP players, characters in the game, and we have these two and also these two for the school bond. So this is going to be a tough team to obviously have because of the SP characters, but as you can see, we have this school bond increases team morale by 20, which is great because you can get that 20% stat buff when you activate your team morale faster. And then there are different bonds here. So Hiragumi and Hoshiomi, these two, you're gonna see these two a lot in the top teams, and I'm gonna talk about them. So there's 2 bonds that we have over here, and then the swimming bond with these 3 SP characters, and also this one, the ace and the carrying setter. So these two as well. Again, this is like SP characters, so it's hard to get them, but then if you do have them with the school bond, this is going to be a real good one. As you can see, the number 1 player has this. Now let's move on to number 2, rank 2 player. So there's no SP characters here, UR ones, but all full UR in the main team, and also we have SSR characters in the bench. So this one would be this team over here, and this one. So we have the twins, Mia twins. As you can see, we only have 2 OP characters in the game, like the UR one. So it's Yushijima or this one, Osamu, as the twins. So obviously you would either go for Yushijima as the UR character and then replace the setter with Oikawa. We're gonna have that later on as well, or you're just gonna play the twins. And again, the bonds that we have, so Hoshiomi and Hirogami, again we have these two. As I said, we're gonna see them a lot. And then the twin power, obviously the twins together, and then we have the top spiker and top libero, which is actually a really great one because I talked about this before in my previous videos, that they're gonna increase your receive by 20%. So this is more than the whole Nekama team school bond, because that's 15%, and you need to have 4 characters from like the Nekama High. But then with this 2 characters only, you can get 20%, which is more than the obviously the Nekomai school bond. And then we also have this one, which there are on the bench, Akashi and Bokuto. So these 2 are also good, especially Bokuto, and they have this special bond together. So again, Hoshiomi, Hirogami, as I said, these 2 characters are going to be played a lot. These 2 together, the twins, and also these 2, Sakusa and Komori as well, that they're gonna play together a lot, and you're gonna see them more because of the bond that they share and the how great they are. So that's rank number 2. And then let's go to the 3rd player. It's kind of similar. Again, you can see these 2 together, Hoshiomi and Hirogami, but then instead of the twins, they're going to play Yushijima as the OP and then Oikawa as a setter. So if we check over here, again, you can see these 2 bond together, and then the twin power, which you have in the bench actually, and also the twin heads, which with Kita again we have in the bench. So these 3 as a sub obviously have like share bonds together, and that could be this is a really powerful bench obviously. And you can see Tsukishima SSR version is also here. And then for Yushijima, Oikawa would be the best setter because of the power attack and everything, because Yushijima also does power attack, so that's why with him Oikawa would be better. And then with twins, obviously both of them together. Again, you can see these 2, and Bokuto probably will be our next UR banner, like UR character to summon for. And then we also have Kuro that we can summon for now, but then again you can always replace Kuro with Tsukishima. And then we have the SP Nishinoya, but doesn't have any special bond. Again, you can also use the SSR version of Nishinoya, and he's also great. Now, rank 4, the team is kind of similar to what we had, because again you can see Setter Oikawa, Yoshijima, these two again together, and these two again together to have the bond of the increase received, like that buff, which is higher than the Nekoma team again. And then we also have Kuro again as a middle blocker, but then doesn't share any bond, and your libero will replace him, so you can still use another character over here. Now let's go to the rank 5. So this is also kind of similar again. I think I have the rank 5 team here. Yes, again the twins. Again, these two, you can see that, yeah, like these two are actually in all the teams, right? And then we have the SP Tsukishima. And so this is more, as you can see, the Inarizaki team buff. That's why we have Akagi as a libero. And this is actually a really great school bond, because it increases all players' strength and defense stat by 5%. So this is a really great one. But then you can see the bench. We have 4 Shiratorizawa high school players. So if these 4 sub in with other 4 characters, then your school bond will change to these for the Shiratorizawa high school bond. So this is also like a really unique team, because you have 2 school bonds, but then you have to sub all 4 to use all like the school bond. But overall, again, you can see the twins here, and you can see these two, Hoshiomi and Hirogami. Now let's move on to the next one, rank 6. So this is again kind of similar. You can see these two together. We have Bokuto, and then Kuro. You can replace him with another middle blocker if you don't have Kuro. Like, I'm just saying this because I talked about Kuro a lot. He's a really great character, but he's not a must. I mean, you can always replace him because he doesn't share a bond with others. But then, for example, Hirogami and Hoshiomi, like these two, you need to have both of them so that you can activate the bond, right? And then Oikawa, Setter, Yoshijima, and then we also have the twins here. We have Kageyama as well that shares a bond with this SP Nishinoya and the rest of the players. Now let's move on to, this was rank 6. Let's do rank 7. So this is actually a different one, because we have Karasuna High School bond here. Kageyama, Hinata, Tsukishima, and also Nishinoya, right? Like these 4 from Karasuna. And then the first place that we don't have the these 2 middle blockers, like the middle blocker and wing spiker in the game, is in this team, and that's the only reason, because of the high school bond, right? So if you check this one, so we have the Karasuna High School bond and buff over here. We have the Sun versus Moon, these 2 SP characters. Like we have 4 SP characters in this team. We also have this one, the Nishinoya and Kageyama bond. We also have Nishinoya, and if you change the setter, Sugawara, so both setters have a bond with the SP Nishinoya. And then we also have these 2 again, because he's at the bench, and if you sub him in, you can use the bond over there. We have these 2 again to increase the receive, and then the eccentric duo Kageyama and SP Hinata. So the main reason that he's not playing Hoshiomi and Hirogami together is because of the Karasuna bond and the characters, the SP characters that he has, obviously. But then again, if you don't have the SP ones, it's super easy to switch Hirogami in and have the bond with Hoshiomi, and also the libero and the second wing spiker over here. So it's basically the same as other teams. It's just because instead of like these UR characters, he's using the SP ones. Now that was rank 7. Yes, let's go to rank 8. So this is again something similar. We had this before, Kageyama with Yoshijima, and then we have these 2 middle blockers with the libero Nishinoya, and also for the sake of Karasunoban, he's having Tanaka over here, and then Iwazumi, and also the Hirogami middle blocker over here. But this is not a complete team again, and the main thing carrying this team, in my opinion, would be the Karasuna High School bond and the bond that they have together as the SP characters, and obviously the Oikawa and Yoshijima duo. So rank 9, we'll move to this one. So There's a lot of characters here, but again, something similar. So we'll just talk about it over here. So we have this perfect harmony. So Oikawa, the UR one, has a bond with Iwazumi actually. So it might be worth it, leveling up because of this bond together. But then he's on the bench. We have better wing spikers like these two. And then the eccentric duo, again, Kageyama on the bench with Hinata. So these two have the bond. Again, the libero and Sakusa, the wing spiker, they have this bond together. Again, these two, as you can see, and then Yoshijima with Tendo. So these two also have a bond together, and it's actually, Tendo, you can get him at the moment. You can summon for him, and if you have Yoshijima, then this is also going to be a really good one because it increases Yoshijima's power attack, which you really want. And then Tendo as a middle blocker defense technique. Again, something like the buffs are really good for these two characters. And if you don't have Yoshijima, don't worry, we're gonna get a rebanner for him later on, maybe like in 2 months probably, and then there's time to pull for Yoshijima over there. Now let's move to the rank 10, the last player that we're gonna talk about in this video, which is actually full Shiratorizawa team. So if you check this one, is this team. So we have the full Shiratorizawa school that increases awareness and strength, crit rate and crit damage of all players, and this is a really good bond. It's just like not the best characters in total, but again, you can make use of the whole team. And as you can see, this is rank 10. So we have Yoshijima, obviously OP, and these 4 characters from Shiratorizawa. We also have Goshiki over here, the setter of Shiratorizawa that has a bond with Yoshijima. And then again, we have Oikawa as the main setter for Yoshijima. And then Hoshiomi, and instead of Kuro, obviously if you have Hirogami and you put Hirogami over here, then there'll be an additional bond. So you can see this is the school bond, these two together, the 2 wing spikers together. So Ohira and also Koshiki, if you play both of them at the same time, you have this one that increases power attack of all players. And then this one, absolute champion and steady setter with Shiratorizawa high school setter and Yoshijima. So again, a full Shiratorizawa school team. So that's the top 10 players over here. And if you check the other players, I don't know if you want to look at them or not. Let's just take a quick glimpse at them. Again, this is the Shiratorizawa school bond that we have over here, and then also these two. And rank 12 is similar to the rank 1 team that we had, and then this one again we had something similar to this, and then rank 14. So this is a bit different. We have Asahi here, that's interesting, but then again we have the bond with these two, this one, and Shiratorizawa team again. And then lastly, rank 15, this is the last one that we're going to talk about in this video. Again, this is like the 3 SP characters that we just talked in the previous teams. So let's do like a recap and like our final thoughts, that I can give you some insights and probably some strategies for the future. So based on the meta teams that we just talked about, there are a few like duos that we can summon for, or like team comps that we can use in the future. So first of all, for Yoshijima, it's best to have Oikawa, obviously, as a setter for Yoshijima. You can also go with Kageyama, and that could also help Yoshijima, but then again, this is mainly for the school bond. So that's one thing, Yoshijima and Oikawa. And then another one is this two, Sakusa and Komori. So these two, again, this duo is super useful. They have the bond to increase receive, and you can see these two together a lot. And then we also have the other one, these two, Hoshiomi and Hirogami. Like you can see these two together in a lot of teams, so that's also another duo. And then the twins, obviously, this is also another duo. So you either go Yoshijima and Oikawa, like this one, Yoshijima, Oikawa, or the twins, right? So it's either one of these two, or you can just have both of them and have them on the bench. And then these two, wing spiker, Hoshiomi and Hirogami. And then we have these two, Komori and Sakusa, libero and wing spiker. So these 4 duos and pairs that I just talked about are the main ones that you want to focus on whenever they're out. You want to focus getting them because they are most used, have the greatest bond together, and they could be really helpful to you later on, especially. But even if you don't go for them, obviously you can always go Inarizaki team or Shiratorizawa or even Karasuna, as you can see, but these are SP characters. So based on the teams that I mentioned, you can plan your pools in the future, and hopefully you can make the ultimate team. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope this video was helpful. Let me know down in the comment section what are your thoughts. And I hope you enjoyed the top meta teams, and probably you have some other, suggestions for yourself. And let me know what are your dream teams and which one of them are you going for, or like which team comps or duos are you going for. And probably I'll make a video later on about my own dream teams and the steps that it takes to get them level by level. Obviously, you can't go all out for this team, at the same time. You need to replace some other characters, and I'm gonna talk about that later on for sure. So make sure you like and subscribe to not miss any single video in the future. Till next time, have fun and stay tuned.